We'll we'll see.
All
The
right,
numbers are still
there
increasing,
we
so
go.
that's
I
okay. You
just
got it.
started the recording to my computer, so we'll at least have something.
And then we can cut
Uh,
out our beginning
yes.
parts.
All right.
Are we
Anybody
ready?
else? Anybody else?
The numbers are still. I'm trying not to. I want to try to get as many as we can in, because the numbers are still increasing
Yeah.
before we start. They're still going up.
We'll give
So,
everybody till 6:03, 6:05.
yeah, because I don't want to waste. I don't want to waste time. I mean,
Yeah.
6 o'clock is ready. You are a few minutes after. I respect people's Friday nights.
Mhm.
And guess what? It's 6:03. Are we ready?
Are
Get
we
ready to
good?
rumble.
All right, are we good?
Yes.
All right, guys. Hey, hey, friends. I am Tara Hirschberg here with my friend Sarah. We are here to show you our new passive income stream that both of us started about, what was it, 7 weeks ago now? It's
Roughly.
been paying us daily. That's the fa my favorite thing is daily pay and passive income pay. Like the keys to freedom are making
Mhm.
sure that you can get paid every day and that it can be passive to where you don't have to touch it, manage it, or worry about it. So we have this cool little bot that you hook up and it just prints money every single day. So Josh Feltz is here to give us the presentation and the rundown of how this all goes. Is there anything else you wanted to say to your friends or followers before we get started?
No, that's pretty much it. I'm ready to roll.
All right, let's go.
So if you're ready, we like to present to some and introduce to others. Woo! Josh Phelps, take it away.
Let's go. All right. Well, everyone, welcome out. It's a Friday night, and it's amazing when you show up on a Friday night to really set yourself in a position to truly step into a life of freedom. I think what so many people wish for and pray for, it's amazing when we finally arrive at the place that we have what we need to go where we're looking to go in life. And what is happening in the world right now when it comes to finance, I think that there is no disagreement between any of us that AI is changing the game entirely. Right? Artificial intelligence has been hands down the biggest evolution of our society, especially in today's time. And all of the major banks, hedge funds, institutional world is using AI in a major way. And what we're going to show you how to do here tonight is do the same thing the banks are doing, and that's put AI to work for you. Okay. One thing that Warren Buffett said that has always meant a lot to me, if you don't learn how to make money while you sleep, you will work until the day that you die. And I don't know about you, but that does not sound like something that is exciting to sign up for. Okay. If anything, I want the first bus out of that path. And I want to put myself on the right path where even when we're asleep, right? Even when we're spending time with family, that we have something that is multiplying our money. And that's what we're going to talk about here tonight. This is ARM. ARM is a fintech platform that is bringing the world of AI and finance together in a way that has never been done for the masses. One thing that I do want to share with you from the very introduction and start of tonight is a bank recently offered $100 million for this technology that you're going to have the ability to get access to and that I'm about to show you right now. Now, I'm going to say that again for those that didn't hear me. A bank recently offered $100 million for the technology that you're about to get access to that will cost you less than $2 a month, less than a bank account for the year. Okay, I need you to understand what's happening here is one of the most game changing situations and opportunities for the masses. Brian, who is the CEO, I'll talk about him here in just a second. Why he rejected the $100 million offer is because the bank, they said if they buy the technology, then RM no longer could offer the technology to the masses. Is that not the same game that we've already been experiencing in society? The banks take our money, they make money with it, they give us pennies on the dollar, and we stay in the same situation of making money, making money, making money until the day we die if we don't change that. All right. So I want to talk about this platform, but before I do, I do want to say this, that I have to give this financial disclaimer that we're not making any type of investment advice. We're not making any type of financial claims. This presentation is for marketing purposes, and we encourage everyone to do your due diligence before moving forward. And that's with anything that you do in life. Okay. So with that being said, let's jump into this. Brian Benson is the CEO of Arum Foundation. And I have to say this, he is one of the most qualified individuals that could ever be leading the ship, and someone that has a track record that is absolutely remarkable. Early in his career, he started out at Morgan Stanley. Later on, he ended up at Binance. And if you've heard of the company Binance, it's one of the largest exchanges in the world. And it was actually the fastest billion-dollar unicorn company that has ever been created in the timeline that it took them from start to $1 billion plus in revenue. Okay. Brian actually was the MD that oversaw and handled all of Latin America, which on that $1 billion plus run that they made in 6 months, listen to me now, he was responsible for 20 to 30% of the volume, and that came from Latin America. Binance was hands down one of his favorite jobs and one of his favorite roles that he ever had. But who agrees sometimes that no matter how much you have accomplished in your career, if there is the ability to do greater things, that we don't stay back? And that's what Brian did. While he was absolutely in love with his job and what he did, he still wasn't able to lead the masses into a place of freedom the way that he is doing now. One of the other things that I do want to share about Brian is he's not only someone that you can find articles about all across the internet when it comes to his accomplishments, what he's doing with Arum, but he's also recognized by the Forbes Finance Council. Now, who understands that you can pay to have an article written on Forbes? Well, what you can't have happen is them actually set you up where you're speaking on behalf of them without being approved and without being put into that role. Okay. When it comes to AI, when it comes to finance, when it comes to blockchain, he is one of the main advocates and speakers on behalf of Forbes that travels all across the world speaking on this evolution and transition in our society. All right. So what's beautiful about this platform is it has real world usage. Okay. They have a card program that you can use. So when you're making money with crypto, you can also spend it via their card. One of the other things that's really remarkable is Brian is not one of those guys, like a lot of the crypto projects, that can't be found anywhere other than his house. All right. Oftentimes in this world of crypto and technology, what you'll find is the people that are leading the ship are very hard to be found and tracked down. Instead, Brian is one of the main faces that's advocating and pushing this movement forward at conferences with 20, 30 plus thousand people, speaking with Forbes, speaking at all of these different events with the highest level CEOs and people in this industry. If you've heard of the Satoshi Roundtable, that's where the elite of the elite in crypto come together. I'm not talking about marketers. I'm talking about hedge funds. I'm talking about CEOs, the biggest and the best. This recently just happened. And here was our CEO in the midst of this and speaking on behalf of the people and making sure that what we're doing here is we're bringing the freedom in this world of AI finance to the masses, not just to the institutional world, to make the rich people more richer. Okay, this is extremely special. Now, if you're anything like me, anytime that I'm looking to be a part of something, I definitely want to know who's running it, details about them. And what I did was I went straight to Google and I typed in Brian Benson Binance. And you can go through and you can see his track record. It's really amazing when you can see someone's track record from the start to where they are today. And it's been beautiful all along the way. Okay. Now, there's several different products and services that the company has. The biggest one that I'm most excited about, I'm going to share with you here in just a few minutes. But what makes this ecosystem different is it's not just a bot trading technology company. We have our own exchange. We also have where you can do liquidity staking, where you can take your crypto. And obviously right now, who agrees that the crypto market is quite bearish? Okay. You're seeing portfolios be extremely red. Okay. And with that, imagine if you could lock in your crypto and it's still growing for you. But I'm going to show you something that's even better. Remember at the beginning of this call, I talked about how inexpensive this platform is. For $19.99, you can have access to everything within this platform for the entire year. Guys, that's $20. You can't go and get a meal for your family for $20, but what you can do is position you and your family to be able to build wealth so you can truly begin to live the life that you dreamed of. And I do want to say this, the fact that this is so affordable is one of the main things that drove me to being a part of this, on top of the legitimacy of the technology, the CEO, and everything that the company's doing. I believe right now that the masses have been left out of the wealth equation, right? We're all a contributor to wealth. Our money, whether it's in the banks, whether it's going to corporations, our money is constantly making other people money. But what happens when our money begins to make us money? What happens when our money begins to compound and grow in our favor? And I'm not talking about pennies for the year. I'm talking about significant growth, so much so the bank wanted it to themselves, so none of us could get access to it. All right, so let's talk about the ARM X AI bot. This started in Q1 of 2023. So someone put a 1 in the chat box if you're thankful that it has a track record. This is not something that just popped up. This isn't just a few good marketers and a couple of tech guys from a random country that said, hey, we got an idea. No, this is institutional grade technology that was created initially without any network in mind and only for accredited investors and institutional world. But when Brian saw how well this was performing, when Brian's team was able to build something like this, after a year and a half of it just working and performing like crazy, they said, what if we actually took this and put it in the hands of the masses? So from Q1 to today, it's done over 500% in growth. As of November, there was $56 million that was in this technology. Let's check out January real quick. In January, the total trading pool has now over $77 million, and the total profit was over $11 million in the month of January. Not January of last year. I'm talking about just a couple weeks ago. All right, 16.85% return. Now, most people would probably assume, well, you got to put a lot of money in there. This is what makes this platform so remarkable. Anybody, wherever they are in life, has the ability to get on the right track and the right path of multiplying your money, even with as little as $100. See, you can start if you need to, and say if you don't have trust in the platform yet, or whatever the situation may be, you can start as low as $100 and test it out for yourself. Now, I'm going to tell you why Tara and Sarah told you about this, or whoever on the team shared this with you, because every single day, every single person, like Tara said, is printing money. And we're watching our account grow every single day. And here's the beautiful thing. It takes no intelligence from you other than making a decision to say yes and funding your account. That is remarkable. That is the game that the banks are playing. So if you start off at the basic level, $100 to $249, you're looking at getting around 10.49% per month. Do you understand what 10% a month will do to money over several years? I'm talking about life-changing income. If you take $1,000 and only grew at 10% for 3 to 5 years, you'd be crossing $1 million with 1,000. See, this is where this is remarkable to me. I come from the banking world with over 15 years, and now seeing the evolution of AI and now the masses getting that in their hands, this is when a real reformation can begin. All right, standard $249 to $999, you're looking at making around 11%. At $1,000 to $2,499, you're looking at making a little bit over 12%. And you will see, based off of your deposit amount or how much your account accumulates and grows to, it goes to the next bracket, whether you're topping it up with additional funds, whether it's commissions that maybe you made that you're topping up your account with, or you're just adding extra capital because you want to be able to make even more money. And at the end of the day, who understands that 10% of $100,000 is very much different than 10% of $100? Same percentage, a massive amount of difference when it comes to that capital amount, but then the growth of it based off of what you have in it. Okay. But the most important part that I want to highlight before I move forward is that you are in the right place so your money can be growing. Who agrees, whether it's a little bit or it's a lot, your money growing is better than your money losing to inflation every year? Okay, really important to note. Now, let's look at the results from January 2025 to December 2025. I'm not going to read out every one of these numbers. You can look at it. Okay, absolutely incredible. Can you imagine for a second what your money is going to be looking like when it's actually multiplying? And I'm talking about daily compounded interest. what you have today and then what you made today, that new balance amount would then be growing whatever percentage it did the next day. And that cycle continues every single day. You can choose to reinvest the profits every day, so it is compounding like that. Or if you wanted to take out the daily profits yourself and use that money for bills, you could do that too. One of the things that I do appreciate about this platform is they give you control and give you the ability to make the decision that you want to make when it comes to your money. Okay. There's also a neo banking platform, which you're going to learn about here shortly, which is absolutely incredible. But I want to show you what this looks like in real world practical reality. Let's start off with the $500 account. On April 17th, we deposited $500 into this account. 5 months later, September 17th, I want you to see what happened. I'm going to scroll in so you can see this. The account started with $500 April 17th. By September 17th, it was $882.77. Now, that means it gained $389.76. You may say, Josh, $389 doesn't sound like a lot. Who agrees that you would never see that type of growth in the bank? But let's actually look at percentages, because it's important that you understand this. In that period of time, in 5 months, the account grew by 76.4%. In the stock market, they celebrate an annual return of 10%, saying you had an amazing year. Okay, so let's really begin to understand what is happening here and the power of this. All right, now let's take it a little bit further. How about a $10,000 account? All right, April 10th, $10,000 account. $10,000 was deposited, but I want you to pay attention to something. Do you see right here where it says 1972? Right next to this arrow, I want you to see this because I'm about to reference several different times in this account's history, but I want you to see that it is still the same account right there, 1972. Okay, I'm going to pull this back and I'm going to go to the next screen so you're able to see what happened. April 10th, the account got started, $10,000. 5 weeks later, on May 16th, the account had grown 23%. Went from $10,000 to now it's $12,360. All right, a $2,300 gain. By 10 weeks, 55% growth. That $10,000, if it was sitting in the bank, it might be $10,003. Probably more than likely, it might be $10,001 or maybe still be in the cents. Okay, now 10 weeks later with this, you're looking at 55% over $5,000 gained. How about 12 weeks later? 3 months, 74% from April 10th to July 10th. That $10,000 account went to now being $17,000. And then in 4 short months, 16 weeks, 103% growth. Guys, do you understand right now this technology is averaging doubling every 4 to 5 months? Now, there's something else that I do want to share with you. This is one of the safest technologies that you could ever have access to. It was created for the institutional world. It was not created to be risky. It was not created to be extremely aggressive. It was created to be consistent. And what we're seeing consistently is anywhere from 0.2, 0.5, 0.6% daily. There's no guaranteed amount. Every day is a blessing. Every day we're grateful, right? And we do need to make sure that you understand this disclaimer. Nothing is guaranteed in the financial markets ever. But the track record suggests, and the current results continue to suggest, that we couldn't have our money in a more safe and more powerful place. In 3 years, they've never had a losing day. Why? It's not leverage trading. If you trade FX and different things in those markets, different commodities, most of the time it's on leverage and margin. You probably know what I'm talking about. 1 to 100, 1 to 200, right? You're trying to take a small account and make it be bigger in power so you can grow it faster. With this, that's not what is happening. This is taking with the XAI bot, the top 20 cryptos on Binance, and it is trading and looking for the best places. Now, one thing that's also extremely important to note, volatility is our friend, right? Who agrees in most situations, volatility is very scary. It can be profitable, but at the same time, it can also be extremely risky if you don't know what you're doing or if you're on the wrong side of whichever way the market is running. Okay, so it's really important that you see and you understand that what you have here is absolutely powerful. All right, now let's take it a step further. We saw what it did in 4 months, from 10,000 to 20,000. But now I want you to see this account that was 10,000. Let's scroll in so you can see. Does everyone recognize that same 1972? All right. That account went from $10,000, and let's look at the date. All right. This is showing in European time. This is on December 10th. So from April 10th to December 10th, this account went from $10,000 to over $39,000. Who agrees people work really hard to make that type of money? Now, who understands that we didn't do anything in order to make what was made here other than fund an account? All right. When Warren Buffett said, if you don't learn how to make money while you sleep, you'll work until the day you die, this is why. And if you've ever heard of this really brilliant man named Albert Einstein, you know, he's kind of significant in history. He made a statement. He said that compound interest is the eighth wonder of the world. He who understands it earns it. He who doesn't pays it. Now, what does that mean? If your money's sitting in a bank, I need you to understand that you are the one paying compounded interest. Your money going into your account, profiting someone else, AKA the banks. Now, in this format, in this situation, all you're doing is it's still your money now going into your account, but on the flip side, it's now growing in your favor. So you have one or two options: make someone else rich, or put yourself in the place where you can begin to make yourself rich. And what may have been started on a path to rich, as you continue to compound your money, will make its way into the world of wealthy. Okay. And that is something that is absolutely powerful. We have our Neo Banking app that is launching right now. It's already live on iOS or on Android. It's coming out on iOS very soon. If you have Telegram, you also can go ahead and use the Neo Banking platform as well, which is amazing. Guys, what's remarkable about this is the bank alone is transformational in so many ways. How many countries do we know of where it's not easy to do banking, right? Or let's talk about the elephant in most of the rooms. Banks are not our friends. Who's ever had an issue with spending your money, using your money, or being questioned by the bank? Going out to dinner, declined. Is that you doing that? I'm like, yes, I just want to eat tonight. It would be great if you just let me spend my money. Or who's ever been someone that you've went to the bank and you went to pull out money, then they wanted to give you a whole questionnaire and interrogate you on what you're doing with your money? Who agrees if it's our money, we should be able to do with it what we want to do as long as it's in with legal, right, grounds? Okay, extremely important. And this is why I love this. This now connects the world, but it puts it in the world of DeFi rather than just the institutional fiat systems that we have been born into and have had ourselves conditioned to think that this is what we're supposed to do the rest of our life. All right. But who agrees if it's broken, we shouldn't stay in broken environments? All right. We need to get to better grounds, and this is taking you there. Now, one thing that I want you to understand before I move into this next part is this part is something that is completely optional. But we have a philosophy here. We're not going to act like the banks. We're not going to be selfish with our profits. We're going to actually tell people if it's working for us and it can work for them, why would we leave them out of the equation? Right? What are we going to do? Leave them in the hands of the banks? They're doing a real good job, aren't they? Yes, for the bank. Okay, let me show you how this works. Now, this is an affiliate program. It's much like insurance, the way that the structure is, except for here's the good news. There is no charge. There is no clawbacks. Whatever you make on the day that you make it, at the moment that you make the sale, you get paid and that money is yours. All right. Who agrees daily pay is amazing? But who agrees immediate pay is even better than daily pay? All right. This is absolutely beautiful. So let me walk through the ARM affiliate program and the different legacy levels that are here. When you get started, everyone starts off at the same level, ANOVA. Okay. What happens is when you get started and you introduce someone to the platform, when they make their first deposit, you're going to make a direct sales commission. At Nova, you make 3%. If someone put in $100, you would make $3. If someone put in $1,000, you would make $30. All right. That's right out of the gate. You have to have at least $100 in the technology in order to participate in the compensation plan. But you're not paying to be in the compensation plan. You are paying for access to the technology, and you're being gifted a compensation plan on top of that. It's really generous. Imagine if you went to the bank, you opened up a bank account, and they said, hey, any of your friends you tell will also pay you every time they deposit. Hey, yeah. Now I'll talk about the banks a little bit more, right? Now let's look at how we rank up in the system. So everybody starts at 3% when it comes to the direct sales commission. Once you hit Voyager, how do you do that? When you have $7,500 trading total added to the technology from anybody underneath you. This does not count your deposit. This is everybody that's underneath your team, whether you personally introduced them or however they got access through your network. Okay. You go from making 3% on the direct sales commission to now 5%. You immediately, as soon as you hit that, get a $100 bonus. So you hit it today, you have $100 as soon as you hit it. Seconds. Yes, I hit it. Boom, look at the account. The bonus is there. Now you went from 3% to 5% in the direct sales commission. Now, I want you to understand why this is so significant. Who's ever heard of the terminology a spread? Okay, the way that this works is very powerful. Once you hit Voyager, the people underneath you that are Novas, every time they make a sale, they're going to get that 3% direct sales commission, right? But because you're 5%, you're going to get the additional 2%. This is huge. On top of that, the company does something that's extremely special. Every single day, there's trading profits that are being made. Once you hit the rank of Voyager, now the company is not going to penalize the person that has their money in the technology. What the company is going to do is the profit share that they make, they're going to give you a team matching bonus every day. While you got paid on the deposit, now you're getting paid every single day on the trading profits. So what goes in? And then also what happens every single day, you're getting a matching bonus on that from the company's side of the profits. That is huge. Now, how do you go from Voyager to Vanguard? You need to have $25,000 total being traded in your network, and you need at least 2 Voyagers in 2 different legs, right? So if you had a Voyager here, a Voyager here, you would be qualified for Vanguard. All you need is the volume. Now, I'll get into the nitty-gritty of the details on our training that we have once you get started and rolling with us. But I want to go through this really quickly just so you can begin to understand the money that's being made here on the compensation side of things. All right. And then I'll actually share my testimony and a couple others here in just a minute when it comes to this. At Vanguard, you go now where you're making 7% instead of that 5%, and you've now widened your spread. On top of that, you got a $500 bonus, and your direct team profit matching bonus went from 5% to 7.5%. What you're going to notice, each rank that you go up, your percentage of the direct sales commission gets bigger, which then means your spread gets bigger. You also get bigger bonuses, and on the profit match, every single day, it's now increasing as you go through these ranks. Now, I want you to understand why this is so powerful. This is a platform that every single person involved is winning. It's one thing to build something because there's an opportunity. There's another thing to build something because the outcome is everybody's making income. Who understands that's a very different situation? I'm not talking about a percentage of people are winning and the other percentage are paying. I'm talking about 100% of every client that's set up is making money every single day. Okay? In my first 30 days, I'm going to share this with you. My first 30 days in this platform, and again, I'm not here to make financial claims. I want to give this disclaimer that when it comes to the trading side, the profits are not guaranteed, but we have been seeing every single day consistently for 3 years. Track record is remarkable. Same thing when it comes to the income claim. If you don't do anything or don't share it with anybody, you're not going to make any additional money in this side of the thing. Okay? But if you do, the upside potential is absolutely mind-blowing. My first 30 days, I actually joined this to test the platform. I put about 10 to 20 people in, and once a week, I hosted a call. Okay? With that being said, I was here to serve the team because that's what I believe you always should do. All right? In this situation, 30 days, I put in 10 to 20 people. At the end of 30 days, I looked at the team and there was over 1,000 people in the organization. Without me posting on social media, without me going and telling everybody in my own company, hey, you guys got to see this, but organically because of the experience of every person that was involved. Now, on top of that, In that 30-day process, without me going and telling everybody, I made over $25,000 in commissions. Up to date now, which has been about 40 days, I'm sitting around 35, close to $40,000 in commissions. All right, this is mind-blowing. We have people on the team that have made 5,000, 10,000, some that have made 20,000 plus. One guy right now is about to hit prime. He'll be sitting at $40,000 his first 40 days in the business. Now, this is what I want you to understand about the comp plan. It goes up a lot, and it continues to pay a whole bunch. But what I want you to see more than anything, and you can learn about all the details of how it goes up and how you can make millions of dollars with this. But what makes this special is the fact that every client is winning. Who agrees that it's quite easy to share something when you have actual results? I think what everybody wants in the world is a result. And with that, when you have those results, and how do you get them? You fund your account today, tomorrow you have results. This isn't one of those things that, hey, it's going to take a month before I start sharing it. For me, I did wait a little bit before I started sharing it because I really wanted to see how powerful this is. I've been a very heavy skeptic when it comes to a lot of crypto platforms. Transparently, I've never joined one of them. Now, I've invested in cryptocurrency on the open markets and exchanges for over a decade now, right? I was one of the people that was in the game early when it comes to getting into the world of cryptocurrency, buying, making money, etc. But when it comes to all of these different platforms that have popped up, I've been completely skeptical of it and stayed away from it entirely. But when I saw this and I saw who was leading this, it gave me a very strong sense of comfortability. When you have someone that was a part of building the fastest growing fintech company prior in exchange, that was responsible for a large percentage of what its growth was, and a person that has ethics, morals, and has a track record and public record of being an absolute brilliant mind in this space, who agrees that changes the dynamic as well, right? Who's running the ship is ultimately very important in all situations. Because if you're on their boat, I think it's important that we all agree that they're the ones that are the captain. They make the decision. And what I love about this is this has been built for all of us to get into the world of AI finance. Over the next 3 to 5 years, AI finance is going to absolutely take over the world. Right now, it's mainly being seen in the institutional world because the mass public is always behind what happens in the institutional space. The wealthy adapt and do it, and then the rest of the world then finds out and takes time to do it later. But let me give you a shortcut to success. Do what the wealthy are doing. Get access to what the wealthy want access to and how they're running their money, and you'll find yourself in a position of wealth much faster than if you stay down the traditional path that we have all been suggested, conditioned, and quite frankly, born into a culture that never taught us how to be wealthy. A society that kept the wealth secret a secret. But now we're letting the news out, and access has never been more affordable, and it's never been more simple. And quite frankly, it's never been more consistently profitable. So with that being said, I want to thank you for taking the time to be here tonight. You could be anywhere in the world. You could be doing anything, but you decided to show up for your future. And for me, I want to say how much that I respect that. And I also want to thank Tara and Sarah for everything that you're doing in this community. It is amazing the heart that you have for the people to continue to win on a massive note. And it is an honor to be alongside you serving in this community. And I can't wait to see what's going to happen the next 6 months, 12 months. Look what we've done in such a short time. In 40 days, 1,500 people joined. What do you think is going to happen the next 3 months, 6 months, 9 months, and beyond? All right, Tara, I'm going to pass it back to you. Thanks again for putting this together, you and Sarah. And for everyone here, it's going to be a fun rest of the year. But far beyond this year, this is just now your new foundation. When your money multiplies, you are on the fast track to success. When you're stuck in just making money only, it's almost impossible to get over to the side of true wealth. So Tara, Sarah, back to y'all. Thanks again. And you guys be blessed.
Thank you so much, Josh. We appreciate you.
We appreciate you. And thank you for everybody that hopped on to be on this journey with us. Just like Josh said, that it's been about 40-ish, I think like 6-7 weeks now. And it's going strong. So that's why I felt confident being able to share it and show my face and not be scared or nervous about it, because I've already seen results myself as well. So if you are ready to hop on board, We have daily onboarding calls, and we will be happy to show you how to get started. Anything you have, Sarah?
Nope, that's pretty much it. Same here. This has been a great journey for me. We've been around the same time, about a little over a month or so. It's been a wonderful thing for me. One thing that actually made me feel really comfortable in joining it, in addition to who's behind it, is the fact that if you all of the majority of us are here in the United States, and we know what the New York Times is. They actually had the International Business Times, where the top 10 crypto platforms to join in 2026, ARM was actually number two. That's a huge deal. So just because, I've been in several different companies over the years, and some of them were good, some of them were bad, a lot of them were bad. But no, this one here, I'm telling you guys, man, just remarkable result. It's absolutely amazing. So I'm really glad to be a part. Thank everybody who actually came out to support us. We appreciate you all. And again, when you guys decide to join, I said when you guys decide to join, we do have our calls where we actually help people every single day at 10 p.m. Eastern time, Monday through Saturday. So we are here to help you guys fund your accounts. If you have any questions on strategy, anything that you have, all things ARM, we are here to help you. So we'll hold your hand. That's all I got.
Yeah. All right. See you later, guys.
You guys have a good night.